I'm Peter Kalmström of Kalmström.com Business Solutions. In this demonstration, I will make a project content type with metadata and a Word template. So this is a rather long, complex demo, but it achieves a rather common use case and goal. So the steps are to create a blank site collection with 3 subsites, sales, production, and support. I did those in another demo, so that's already done. And we're going to create a content type that contains the following site columns: a project manager, and that's going to be against a new list of project managers, start date, end dates, description, status, and that's going to be a choice. And then we're going to create 3 document libraries, 1 in each subsite, so that the sales department have their own projects, the production have their own projects, and so on. Then we're going to create views, an overview projects, and a group per project manager. Finally, we're going to create a Word template and show all the projects in the root sites with a content query web part. So that's quite a bit of work. Let's get started. So I'll jump over to my SharePoint site here. And as you see, I already have the subsite, sales, production, and support. And now I'm going to go into the site settings and create my content type. Create that, and that's going to be a project. Notice that I'm giving that singular. I'm defining what information we need to store around one project here. These project descriptions are going to be stored in documents, so it's going to be Word documents, and then I'm going to put them in a group called Contoso. And then I'm going to add some column. They have a file name and a title already, so I'm going to add from new site columns here. Let's go back and see if we can remember the project manager. That's going to be against a new list of project managers. All right, so let's go in and create that new list. I'm going to open site contents in a new tab and create that new list. So that's going to be a new list of our project managers. Create. And then I'll add some project managers here. Stina, Bertram, and Adam. Right, so those are my project managers in this, and then it's going to be a lookup against those. So we'll create the column, and that's going to be project manager. That's going to be a lookup information already on this site, and this site is of course the home site here. That's where I created the project managers list just now. So it's going to be in new group called Contoso, which is the company we're working at, and then we're going to get the information from the project managers list, and we're going to get the title from that list, not the ID. All right, so that was that column. Let's move on. We have the project manager. Let's color all the things we've done here. We have created a blank site collection. We already have that stuff done. Start date, end dates, those are easy because they already exist. So we don't have to create any new site columns. We'll use the existing ones. Start date and end date. Notice that I put those in the right order sequentially, not alphabetically. So start date, of course, comes before the end date. So those 2 are done, start date and end date. Then we'll have a rich text description. Let's continue with that. We can close this window down now. There we go. And continue adding from a new site column. I'll call that project description. There already is a built-in one called description, so we'll use our own. Project description, and that's going to be multiple lines of text. And when you do that, you of course want to put it in the Contoso group. And you can select the plain text or the enhanced rich text. I'm going to use the enhanced rich text. So that's that, the project description, rich text as I said, and then we're going to have a status choice column. That's going to be a new one also, add from new site column, project status, choice. And again, putting that in the Contoso group. New, ongoing, delayed, completed. That is, of course, the logical sequence of things, of projects So I'm just going to put them like that. And the benefit of doing that is that they are then in alphabetical and the proper sequential order. So that's a good one. The default choice would be new. That's rather good. So there, now I've created all my columns and the content type is done. So that one is completed. So now we're going to create 3 document libraries connected to the content type. So let's do that. I'll go into the sales department site, and in there I'm going to create a new app. And that's going to be a document library. And I'm going to call that the sales projects. And the sales projects, go into the settings for that list, library settings. The versioning is already on in all document libraries, so I don't need to do that. And I need to show it on the quick launch. I do need to go into advanced settings and allow management of content types. So, okay. And then I have this section with content types. And by default, I just use the document content type. But if I add the new one here, go into the Contoso group, find the project content type. Now, if I add something to this list, new here, I can select a document or a project. Of course, I don't want that. I only want the projects to be available here. So I'll go into the library settings again. And under the content type section, I'll remove the document there. Delete this content type. Of course, that's only deleted from this document library. Finally, you see now I get all these columns here, the project manager, project descriptions, but those do not get added to the view by default. So I'm going to change the default view here to make sure that those are visible. The project manager, project status, those are the most important ones, and the start date and the end date, of course, also. End date and the start date. Let's make sure that that one is before, so let's do that as number 14. The column here, the columns look right. Let's see if I probably want to modify the width of this column a bit. Now the information is there, and I can create new items, new projects. When I do that, it opens up in the Word Online by default, but I want to edit this in Word, and that works because I have Internet Explorer here, so I'm going to edit it in Word, and I want to modify this template. Insert a table, maybe for the information, 2 columns would be enough, and I will have the project title first. Just put the labels in here, project manager, start date, end date, and then we can put the description in here. So now I'm going to get the information from the content type, and that worked because I created this template from the document library, so I have a connection there. Now I'm going to insert the quick part here under document properties. So under project title, we'll just put the title there. Under the project manager, I can go in the document property and select the project manager. And that's a drop down, so of course I will get those people that I selected before. Start date like that, and the end date. And finally the description, adding all those there, documents, project description. There we go. So now I'll go ahead and save this. I'm going to save it on my desktop. I'll call that project template. Then I want to go back to my content type. So we'll do that by clicking out of this Word Online, go back to the root site, go into the site settings to find the content type again, site content types, find my group, Contoso in this case, and here's the project. And there I can go in and edit the advanced settings of that content type, and there I'll upload a new document template. Press OK on that. Now in Sales, when I create a new project here under the Sales projects there, if I do that using the classic SharePoint and go in under Files, New Document here, I'll get the proper template used. But these fields now cannot be edited in Word Online. It needs to be edited in Word. So if I do that first, you'll see that I can edit this information here. The title, Sales Project 1, Project Manager, should give me a drop down with the different project managers. Since I didn't get those details here in the task pane now in Word 2016, I need to go into File and Properties. And underneath here I have Show All Properties, and there's the Project Manager. If I click that, I get this little dialog, and I can select that Adam is the manager there. Let's go back, and I get the number 3 there, which is of course not correct. Project description, this is a very important project. So let's save this now, File and Close, and I'll get the question you want to save. Yes, I do. And it's uploading that to SharePoint. And let's get back here to the sales project list. And as you see, the Adam, the status, the dates that I selected were there. Let's remove this one, not the appropriate one. It's not using the right template. And we can, of course, rename this one to open it in Word Online. And double click here and change it. Edit in browser and change the file name, Sales Project 1. All right. So now we're about done with the sales projects. Now, of course, the production and support wants the same thing. Well, before that, actually, I'm going to change a few things. I'm going to go into the library settings, and under advanced settings, I'm going to say that this should always open in the client application, the Word templates. And also I wanted to use the classic experience. So now when I open this new project here, it should open in Word directly, which it does. So that's good. So the title, I'll call that Sales Project 2. Another important project, and I'll change the dates here also. Make that from next week till that. Right. So we'll close that and save it. And now we get the save dialog also. Excellent. So we'll call that Sales Project 2. Now these are of course quite a few steps that I did to make this work for the sales team. I don't want to do all those steps again for the production team. So instead I'm going to go into the library settings and save this library as a template. Save document library as a template. Project library. You can use the same name and template name, and not include the content there. All right. And now I'm going to do the same thing in the production department. I'm going to create a new app there. Add an app. And I'm going to search for a project. There's my project library that I just created. I'm going to call this Production Projects. And I want to make sure that that is available under the navigation also. So I'm going to go into Library Settings, under the navigation. When I save something as a template, most of the settings are included, but the advanced settings here are not included in the template. So use the client application and use the classic experience. Those settings are not included in the template, so I need to do those manually. So let's create a project here also in the production. You see it's using the same template, Production Project 1. And let's just close that for now. We have something to work with. There we go. Save that. And there we go. There's my production project. All right. Same thing for the support department. Adding an app of the project library type. And support projects, I'm going to do exactly the same thing that I did before. I'm going to go into library settings. Under advanced settings, I'm going to use the client application, and we're going to use the classic experience. And also we are going to show this in the navigation. That's the final step. All right, so let's create a support project. There it goes. It opens with Word, as it should. Support project 1. And close that. Yes, and I will saving that as support project 1. All right. So now we have created no less than 4 different projects in 3 different libraries over 3 different sites. So we have a bit of content. So let's go back to our presentation here. We have created 3 document libraries, and we've created the templates, and we have not created the views. So let's do that. I should have done that before creating the templates, but let's do it after the fact now. Let's go into the sales project, and now we're going to create 2 more views. I'm going to create a overdue project and grouped by project manager. So first, grouped by project manager, and that of course is going to go into the section here of group by project manager. There you go. I have one that's assigned to Adam and one that is not assigned to anybody. That's fine. And then I'm going to create another one called overdue projects. And that's going to show only those where the end date is less than today. And of course, where the project status is not equal to finished, because those are not overdue, right? That was number 4, completed. So that shows those that are late. End date is less than today, and the project status is not equal to completed. Okay, we don't have any of those, so let's change that. So we'll go into the quick edit mode and select the end dates. Select that should, so let's be the 15th or something, a few days ago. And the status is new, so that should show up. So if we go to overdue projects, the sales project 1 is indeed there. That's overdue now, right? All right, so there we have created the views. As I said, we should have done that before saving the template, because then we would get the same view in all 3 document libraries, but you get my points there. And we've created a Word template with quick parts. We did that part, yes. I'm finally going to show all the project on the root site with the content query web part. So we'll go to the root site. Actually, the content query web part is a bit old, so we'll use another one called the content by search web part instead. So I'm going to insert a web part, and that's under content rollup, and here's content search. And that's now showing the latest items changed, but we don't want that. We want to show just our projects. So let's show our 50, and we want to show those with a list with paging. And we're going to select this template's 2 lines. And under appearance here, we can say that the title is going to be projects. And then we're going to change the query and select that we want to see items matching a content type. And that's why one of the reasons that we created a content type from the beginning, in order to be able to search for it. So it's going to be in the current site collection, items matching a content type. Then we're going to select the content type that we created, the project. There we go, that's my project. And as you see, we have 4 of them here, and that's because the last 2 have probably not been indexed yet. Apply there. It's very important to remember the apply, otherwise you have to do the setting again. So there you see I'm actually showing all 4 as it should be. So that works. Another little change that we need to do to actually show that heading, the project, is that this web part by default is not showing the title. So let's modify that also. Under appearance, we have here that the Chrome type should be title and border. Apply that and save the page. There we go. Those are my projects from all the subsites. As a little bonus, I want to also add the other web part that I mentioned, the content query web part. This part is mostly done, but let's add the content query web part also. We are going to go into the site settings and enable a feature. Under site settings here, you'll have the manage site collection features. And there's a feature here called the publishing infrastructure, SharePoint server publishing infrastructure. I'm going to activate that. That usually takes a few seconds to do. Here you see that it's working. Now that feature got enabled. If you do get an error there, just try it one more time and that usually works fine. Now you have that, and I can go to my home page again and edit the page and use that other web part that I mentioned. Let's do that. Insert web part, and it's the same as the category, the content rollup, and there's another one now, content query. That gets added when you enable that feature. So I'm going to add that. I'm going to go in and edit web part and configure the query to show items of a certain list type. It's going to be document libraries, and of a specific content type. So it's going to be the Contoso ones and the projects. There we go. So apply that. Now you'll see the same 4 items there in a few seconds. And then you can do some rather nice grouping here also. Under presentation here, I can add grouping by site, for example. Apply. Now that's grouped by sales, support, and production. Number of columns, let's put that to 3, since we have 3 subsites. Apply that. So there you go, support, sales, production, and the content query web part. Most likely you want to change that heading to under appearance and do projects there. All right, so let's apply that setting again and then save the page. Great, now we've done that with the content query and the content search web parts. Thank you for watching this demonstration.